as you're watching this, anybody can do this. I haven't been given some special privileges. I rented the vehicle. Why isn't this area, this country, popular amongst four-wheel drive overland explorers? And I have a feeling it might have something to do with the fact that on TV you see, all you ever see is maybe a couple of shots of some people on a camel, or you have a Nissan Patrol charging up a dune with a whole lot of tourists in the back. Yeah, you can do that. I wouldn't dream of doing that. How about doing this?
That is gonna look insane.
So amazing. Just ridge of sand.
I'm St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world.
So we're trying to find a campsite in the dunes.
Yeah.
So if we're high up, we'll see a sunset. If we're low down and the wind blows, we need to make sure that we're not on the...
Well, yeah, we've got a
side.
very early morning start tomorrow morning, right?
Yep.
So we've got a sunrise shoot. We've
Yep.
got to get out of the dunes. We're going to be driving at night. So we're going to find something, well, early morning before the sun comes up. So we're going to find something that's easy enough to get out. But we also don't want to hear the noise from around us. We also don't want to see any lights. So I think we're high enough up to enjoy the breeze so we don't get the heat
You
from the
mean
desert.
here?
Or,
No, it's not a bad spot.
yeah,
Sounds good, actually. Nice being
I
back
think
in the,
it looks
nice
pretty.
being back in the dunes.
looks pretty.
Looks
pretty.
like it's in the middle of nowhere. The friggin' highway just over there. Like 6 lanes. Can't hear it.
Well, if you
That's
switch your
probably-
car off,
If I switch my car off, I might be able to...
look at this,
might be able
look
to
at
not
this.
hear it.
He's always shouting at me for my diesel, and there,
It's
the
a quiet-
cardinal mistake.
It's a quiet petrol engine, and
What's the first thing you taught me, Andrew?
turn
When-
off your engine because I'm freaking filming.
Right, and when you turn it off, there's a
Yes.
shudder, and we have an earthquake, and then
Yes.
everything kind of
Settles
simmers down.
1HZ, yes.
Yeah,
Just petrol. You need petrol.
and it took a half an hour
Much
for
better.
the fan to go off as well.
It's much better.
And let's talk about fuel consumption real quickly.
Okay, so consumption was 2 liters more for 100. How many kilometers did we do?
380 kilometers.
Kilometers, and this used 2 liters more than that, and it's probably half the weight, if not less than half the weight. I mean, you're
Yeah.
carrying most
lot.
of the kit,
Yeah.
almost all of the water, almost all of the food. Yeah, you are much heavier than
And the
that.
4.2 litre diesel is renowned for being heavy. The 1HC is a heavy.
I
because
don't think it is. I actually, but your driving style is very different from mine.
yes, true.
We are about a 2-minute drive from a major arterial road, because tomorrow morning, very, very early, we have to be at a place which is about 10 minutes from here, and we have to get there before sunrise. It's a special cultural thing that I don't know too much about. Sean's organised it, but it does revolve around some very old Land Rovers in the desert. So that's the purpose of this. The other vehicle is a friend of Sean's who's bought a ground tent for Gwynn and I, because Gwynn has injured her knee and she's struggling a lot with getting in and out of the rooftop tent, so he's called on some support.
Everything gets packed up tonight. I would rather have 15 minutes spare and be there on time. And what? Sunrise at 6:30. You know, if we're 15 minutes late, we might miss the shot.
It is 5 in the morning and we've been taken now to a wildlife sanctuary. We're going to go and see if we can see some wild animals. in the traditional way, more African, I think, than Asian, in that we're going to be in open Land Rovers. And the first thing I noticed this morning when arriving, there is a smell in the air, and the smell is quite distinctive, and it's of engine and gearbox oil, and it's from these very old Land Rovers. We're now picking colours. Can you believe it? They've got so many here, we can actually pick our own colour. Gwynn, what colour would you like?
I like that green. Green and blue for me.
People who aren't photographers, really. There's no clue.
Absolutely.
So we're going to pick colours that complement the colours of the desert, not fight it, Gwynn, including a yellow one and this lovely heritage green. I was told later that those 2 hot air balloons were flown just for our benefit.
No, you direct me if you want me to. We've got second. Tighten that.
Yep.
When photographing a sunset or sunrise, it moves incredibly quickly. One literally has seconds to get the shot.
Pressure!
It's like a press conference here this morning. Every single person here is holding a camera. It's bizarre.
We're on a photo shoot, or hadn't you noticed?
Do you blame us?
Yes, but you're the photographer, but everybody's photographing you photographing.
Trying to make money so we can feed you, Gwynn.
Few vehicles in the motoring world. There are several, but if I had to list the top 5, a Land Rover would definitely appear in that top 5, and it would be these very models. So, tell me, say something, anything.
It's absolutely sensational. The animals, it's quite interesting. They are so different. I mean, they're similar, but so different to the oryx of southern Africa, which are, you know, dun colour. They're much darker colour. These are light. And the little Giselle, same thing, same animal, different colour.
But what is unique about this experience is it's not just the Land Rovers, and the fact is that you look at the dunes and there are no tracks on them. That are in this part of the world, to find a dune field as big as this with no tracks on them, you have to go into the private reserves. There's almost no option, because dune bashing is a national pastime. Sean spotted a piece of plastic bag. When we worked in Botswana, it was the same thing. When we saw a cigarette butt in the Okavango, we would go and pick it up. Every little bit helps, and this country suffers badly from litter.
Heritage Desert Safari offer a lot of activities apart from driving in vintage Land Rovers. For us, they've laid on the game drive, followed by a falcon show and breakfast.
Big pieces at a time. And right now, she doesn't even care about what she's eating. Right. Okay, so who's going to go first?
Go.
Very good. So you'll see she gets that height. She tries to dive down. Now this is love. Very good. All right, and immediately you'll see she's trying to take it away from him Alright, she's not taking it to him, and this is a natural behavior as well. Alright, I just took Nacho under there. She was eyeing him out this morning.
The best part of this really is that one can get very close to these magnificent birds.
Yeah,
That's good?
that's good.
Alright, so let me get him onto the glove, and I'm
So
going to...
like that probably.
I'm going to cue him to your glove. Go perch for me. Oh, yes.
Hello, you beautiful
Good boy,
thing.
Nacho. At least he's behaving with the camera. Very good.
Hey, you want more? I don't have any more. She's got it.
Good boy, Nacho. Huh? There we go. So
Wow.
let's try one more, just so that you make sure that you've got the
shot.
Let's try one more. All right. So she's really trying to manipulate it, get it down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not cooperating with her today. So eventually, she's actually just going to drop that. All right. If she can't swallow it, she's just going to drop it. There we go. Yes. You can come on up. Hold on, my
So our breakfast for today is called the full madams. So this is the traditional Emirati breakfast. It's just like traditional, it's just beans,
Right.
and usually you're gonna eat it along with some other ingredients. So here we have some olive oil and tahina, which is made out of sesame seeds.
Okay.
Here we also have onions, tomatoes, and parsley. So you have to mix it all together. Tastes really good.
Okay.
And over here we have some traditional Arabic breads. We call it rugag.
With a side serving of yogurt.
So it's made out of wheat flour, salt, and water. And usually for the morning we fill it with some fillings like za'atar or even eggs. It's
And
really
you would
good.
have that with
the
that.
beans.
with the
You would
beans.
eat
they're
it
just-
together.
Yeah,
yes?
eat it together.
Okay.
And also we have some shabab. So
Right.
that's how we call like pancakes nowadays.
Okay.
But usually how the Bedouins would make it is they would also add some cardamom. Because they use cardamom, for a lot of different other stuff. Not just here, but even coffee.
This should be interesting, shouldn't it?
Lemon and mint.
Alright, so Andrew, are you ready to learn how to wear the gutrad?
Yes, I am.
Time again to learn how to wear the Arab scarf, sometimes better known as the khutra.
This here, you try and find this piece to get onto your forehead here. Okay, so as you're holding it, it's doing that,
Okay.
yeah.
And from here,
Yes.
we're gonna do a
Okay.
Should be easier.
Right. Okay.
perfect.
Right.
And now we're gonna do a one big fold, just like this.
That
Yeah.
over the
And
top.
then keep it stiff like that.
Right. Okay.
Yep, that's perfect.
Right.
So from here,
Grab a corner.
Grab it, the corner goes like that.
then from here,
Yes.
we're just gonna roll it outwards.
You can
So now-
readjust the top. There we
Okay.
go.
One side have to go around your head.
Like that?
Yep. Yep. Roll it around again. And you can tuck it in here.
Ah. That's better. Better than last time. Do you remember last time? Let's go. It's the ground sloping like this, so I'm going to just come forward and just bring the nose down ever so slightly, probably half a car length or so. In terms of time of years to visit, the summers here can be brutal. Brutal. 50 degrees is not uncommon. Very high humidities, but it's not all the same. You get some areas where it'll be 40, 45, 50 degrees and very low humidity. Other places, very high humidity. It's enough to say that the summer weather is extreme. This kind of travel isn't really practical during those months. There are some exceptions, but I won't talk about those now. Generally speaking, you're going to be looking at December, January, February and March are going to be those months where daytime temperatures, while warm, sometimes quite hot, are certainly tolerable. And at night it can actually get very, very cold, especially in the mountains where we went earlier on in the trip, and in Oman and the high altitudes it can get bitterly, bitterly cold in winter.
Sean has brought us to one of the most easterly parts of the United Arab Emirates, at a place called Sila on the Persian Gulf. The only thing to do now is to choose a campsite.
Hey, it's amazing stuff. And look at this one. It's like a little bowl.
It's white, and then you got this red gypsum sticking out. The contrast between the white sand and the red gypsum is absolutely insane. And as the sun obviously gets better, yeah.
I see all this pollution and in this magnificent place, all plastic. And I think to myself, I just want to make my house as free from single-use plastic as is humanly possible. There's got to be a way. There have got to be alternatives to this.
To take 2 nights here, just. So the beach, any good?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little beach. It's unfortunate that we're on this side of the peninsula. It picks up all the rubbish coming from the ocean. What to do? But the rest of it, from the beach side towards the ocean, I think is absolutely stunning.
But an old problem with the United Arab Emirates has reared its ugly head again. Litter.
The guys over here that were here obviously during the long weekend have picked up a whole bunch of nets, which is great, but leaving it here just...
Right, so we're back in the car because the peninsula is two-sided. All peninsulas are two-sided. Never mind. On that side where we've just been, all the litter washes up, and on the side we're going now is not quite as interesting, but it's much cleaner. So because we've got a little bit of daylight left, Sean suggested let's go and have a look at the other side and see which one we prefer. You think this side's more interesting?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. I mean, look at the colour of that sea. I mean, like, the sea was beautiful on the other side, but this
We
is
do have a
just-
beautiful sunset to enjoy.
And yeah, and also
Follow
having the
those
land on the other side just gives it definition and stunning. This is beautiful. Now this is a little piece of paradise. Hey, isn't this stunning?
I love Solovia. How do you enjoy your drive?
Yeah, that's cool.
You, the 4x4 queen.
It's worked well so far.
But alas, it's not quite as clean as we hoped it would be.
I'm going to do a quick clean-up of the beach. There's quite a bit of litter on the beach, but we're just going to make this little part of the home. And I figured, hey, you know, we can just get the worst of it out. No, look at that. Barnacles that have attached themselves. That's how long this bottle has been in the ocean.
But my pet hate, and I'm sure you can agree with me, fireplaces and people leaving, they think that a fireplace will burn the glass bottles.
We have picked up on these features as just
There you go. Follow my feet, where's that glass? Some of the bottles we've got over here, Thailand, Philippines, it's amazing. So it's gone from, well, we don't know whether it's a Thai boat that came here, but it's interesting to read the stuff. It is a treasure island at the end of the day, but it's plastic.
So now digging the holes for the back wheel, so the back wheel settles so the car is level when... I was just going to put it in two-wheel drive and poof!
Yeah, you do that. It's not going to go anywhere. Oh, whoa, too much. You're good.
Right.
You're good. It worked. Well done.
Is that too far? Actually, I was a little bit ambitious, wasn't
You
I?
were. Well, I think it's...
No, it's too far. I need to go back now. I'll put it in four-wheel drive and I'll go back this far. It's perfect.
To be honest,
It's perfect. perfect. A beautiful campsite. It's really stunning. A lot of litter around, but we've kind of got used to that. And look at the water, beautiful blue water, as you can see. And as I wrap up, the trip's been absolutely fantastic. Nice, not too rushed. Nice balance of driving days, bit of technical driving, lots of different scenes, and a lovely beach, lovely campsites to conclude the trip. On every single trip, I think back about the equipment that I've used, and has anything stood out. Now, on this particular trip, of course, using another vehicle, somebody else's kit. The piece of equipment that has stood out for me is actually the camera that I'm actually now using. I am was a huge GoPro fan. I had the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 6. And finally, when I bought the 6, expected it to be better than the others, I eventually got so angry with it, I destroyed it on purpose. And the reason why I did that is because the software was frustrating me so much that on numerous occasions I would try and get a shot and it would fail. Something would fail, and almost always it was software based, and I would lose footage. The camera I'm now using is called an Osmo action camera. And my conclusion with it, this is my first shoot, I've looked at the rushes, and my conclusion is that it is flaming fan bloody-tastic. Because the software is simple. When I ask it to turn on, it turns on every time. When I link it to my phone to control it and adjust it from my phone, it links every time, not just once, every now and again when it feels like it, which was kind of the way the GoPro would work. The stabilization is astonishing. Look, check this out. I mean, the car was moving. Now, the camera is attached to the bonnet of the car, but look how the bonnet of the car is moving. In other words, the stabilization is actually happening inside the camera, and it's brilliant. I love the quality. Color quality is good. It's sharp. This is 4K video. And I'm not comparing image quality with GoPro. It's definitely as good as far as I can see from this point of view, but the interface is a billion times better. What an impressive piece of equipment. Vehicle, Jeep JK, very, very well known, 3.6 litre V6. Engine is powerful, pliable, easy to drive on-road, easy to drive off-road. The automatic gearbox is a good one, easy to control off-road, like it. Typical Jeep annoying things, it beeps far too much. Sound, beeping, and what's it telling me now? You went ping. What are you telling me that I'm... What? Cars that ping. If I was a ping and there was something on the dashboard to say, hey, you've forgotten to do this, I have no problem with that at all. But a car just going ping, how does that help? The low roof line kept on hitting my head a bit, and the fact that there's nothing to keep the doors open is a little bit annoying, but the reason for it is, of course, you can take the roof and the doors off, which is unique with the Jeep. I just plain like this vehicle, and it's a lovely plaything. Range is low, fuel consumption high. Actually very high considering the load we're carrying. But I would like to thank Off-Road Zone and UDrive. They loaned me the vehicle. Thanks guys, you made this possible. Appreciate it enormously. I would also like to thank Sean and Andrew Mayer from Expedition Extreme. Thank you for setting this up for us. It's been a great trip. Again, you have excelled. Go and check out their channel. It's great stuff, particularly for people living in this area. Enormous amount of information available on that channel. As a woman, you might be concerned about traveling in the Arab states. They're all different in terms of this country, the United Arab Emirates. Andernet has traveled in this area extensively for over a decade.
I don't think there's any worries. To come to the UAE, to come and travel here, I think you have seen in the last couple of days that we've been around, in little spots that we've camped, people don't bother you. The only time when they will come and bother you is to ask you, listen, please would you come to our house? They're very open to bringing people to the house. They would like to feed you and that type of thing. Absolutely no concern. It is safe. We've never had anything stolen from our campsites, even going into Oman. Absolutely nothing.
Women specifically, should they dress in a specific way?
I think we're very fortunate to be able to walk around in shorts and tops and whatever. Obviously only when you go into your cities, into your malls, would you either put a scarf on or whatever. I have been very fortunate to run into places because you're busy traveling. You don't have everything on hand with you. To be able to just go into the store as is. Never had issues with it, and no, I don't really think they are very strict on that. Although it is said, respect the local
Customs.
yeah. But no, definitely not.
So that concludes my expeditions for 2019. By the time you see this, of course, will be in 2020. And well, if I haven't said it already on the channel, Happy New Year. I hope it is a wonderful, safe one, and I hope it's one that you can spend lots of time with your family. After all, family is the most valuable thing we own. There's a bit of depth from me. It is. See you next time.